going on, family? So, welcome back to the next episode. First and foremost, I am happy that the idea that I had for mounting my phone, whatever, from the safety bars inside the bus actually worked out very well. That's why you're looking at me the way you're looking at me, and look at my no hands. Anyway, I just want to get that out of the way because, you know, small victories I enjoy. Anyway, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos come out. And make sure that you check out my Patreon so that you can sign up for that and get some perks. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little cash my way, you know. Hook a brother up. But yeah, there's perks involving like different levels of discounts from my web store. Things along those lines. I'm going to be most likely creating a blooper channel. Just all the clips of the stuff that I try to record and it not quite work out too well. You know, if you just want to see how it looks when I try to do this and I fail, there you go. 99% of this is, well, actually all of this is pretty much one take type of stuff. I try not to do too much editing unless I'm throwing pictures on or video footage to show what I'm explaining. But other than that, the actual description stuff, the actual me talking, so on and so forth, is a single take type of thing. Because I want to keep it as real as I possibly can. So, you know, it is what it is. All of that being said, so today was actually a pretty productive day. Again, it was a 50-50 shot. Well, actually, it was more like 67-33 in my favor. Because I did get one more bracket off from in the back. So I got two more to go. But I'm probably not going to be able to get rid of those until I get my hands on a scissor jack. Because I need the pressure against the nut that I cannot get to that's in the wheel well in order to actually get it to move, because basically it's just spinning in place. And that's because it's loose enough where the nut on the other side that I can't get to is spinning along with the bolt. So the only way I can really get that to change is with pressure, and that's actually how I ended up getting the other two brackets off that I wanted to remove on the back end of the wheel well. The ones I'm trying to remove now are the ones on the front end of the wheel well. So yeah, I tried with the crowbar that I got, but that's not quite working. There's not really a good position I could put it in order to get things to play out the way I want them to play out. So I need to get my hands on like a scissor car jack or something along those lines. It's either going to be a scissor one, or actually, yeah, it's probably going to be the best option. I can't think of anything that's set up like I was imagining in my head just now. I'm not going to go through the details with that. Long story incredibly short, what I'm thinking of doesn't exist, so that's okay. Anyway, moving on past that, I'm gonna throw in some video and some pictures, but you can kind of see it in the background of the scene right now with all these boxes and pallets that my light fixtures are gone. Almost all of them, except those right there. And that's because I need to come out here with a screw removal kit and basically just drill that out. It's two screws that are that were too seized to come out, and when I hit them with the drill with the regular Phillips head bit in it, all it ended up doing was stripping the head of the screw. Unfortunately, they're really easy to strip, but not so easy to move. So that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? As far as that's concerned, not much I can really do about that. But yeah, so that is a soonish kind of thing. I'm not gonna make that a high priority because I already know what's back there. I've already, you know, taken down all the rest of them, so I'll get to those when I get to them. I'm not gonna trip about that. But I have been presented with a couple of new bits of information and new tasks at hand. Unfortunately, the way that they wired everything, well, not everything, but most things from front to back in the bus, they did it where it's outside of the framing that is in that area behind where the light bulbs were. So Long story incredibly short, there's some actual steel framing in there that's above the speaker, so there's like a platform, which is bolted essentially to the, well, it's framed into the ceiling or whatever. You'll see in the video footage and pictures. But anyway, the cabling, a good portion of the cabling is wired on the outside of that as opposed to the inside of that, so I can't like tuck that back and utilize the space how I want to use it. I got to figure out either if I want to keep that framing, because all it's really holding up, as far as I can tell, is where the speakers are and just that platform where all the cabling, and that was also ventilation to some degree. You can see, you'll be able to see in the back from one of the pictures that I took. But yeah, I can't really do much as of right now. I'm taking some time to think about it, but I can't do much with the framing. I would like to actually kind of remove some of that framing. Hopefully I can do it without actually damaging the integrity of the framing of the bus in general, but I don't know, which is the main reason why I'm iffy about it. Yeah, so figured that out. What I'm most likely gonna take my time doing, but start doing bits and pieces of, is the wiring for the lighting. I'm gonna remove as best I can, just take it out of the cable management system that's up there, and clip it wherever if I feel it needs to be clipped. But yeah, that's gonna go. It's kind of a blessing and a curse. Pretty much all the wiring for everything is up there in that section, and I don't know what wiring goes to what. There's also some pipes up there which I believe have to do with the AC and the heat. It could also house wiring. I'm not entirely sure. I did not study them well enough to be able to tell one way or the other, but the majority of that is actually bolted to the framing on the back side of that area, so that's nice. It's the cabling that's in front of the framing that's bothering me, because I could actually utilize that framing as is for storage purposes if I can maneuver those cables out of the way without damaging or modifying the framing. But again, I don't know what cables go to what. I don't want to unplug a bunch of stuff and screw something up. Well, if I unplug something, I'll plug it back in, but I don't want to cut any cables or wires or anything like that and realize that I screwed something up majorly. Because that would really upset me, and that would be a major drawback. But it seems like the majority of power going front to back, which I'm going to guess some of those cables go straight from the driver's seat back all the way back to the engine. They're all up top, or at least the majority of them are up top. I would be surprised if I saw anything along the floorboards or anything like that to any nature, just because I see so much up there, and that's a good hiding space, and there's plenty of room up there for all of that. Like, there's a good amount of cabling up there, but it doesn't take up all of the room that's in that area. Also, I can see what kind of insulation is up there, and it looks like there's probably about 1.5 inches of insulation up there. I could be wrong. This is me guesstimating from what I can see here versus being able to actually have the ceiling off and see what's underneath the ceiling as a whole. So, but there is some level of insulation up there, so that's nice, and it looks to be in half decent shape up there. So depending on how things play out, I may just end up keeping the ceiling. I don't know if I want to lower the ceiling or not so I can add more insulation. I will decide on that. If nothing else, if I figure out the kind of insulation that's in there and I don't like it and I want to up the ante on that, then I probably will do that. I got a couple ideas on how I can pull that off in a really nice fashion. If nothing else, I'll probably end up keeping what's up there for the most part. The walls are questionable, and I'm starting to realize that things that are not in the bus that I thought were metallic are actually fiberglass. So it is totally possible that my walls are fiberglass. Which, if they are fiberglass, I am on the fence as to whether I want to keep them, because honestly, I could probably replace that with something that has a better thermal value to it, as well as something that just looks cleaner and doesn't look so much like the inside of a bus. We'll see. That I'm going to do a decent amount of research on, and I'm also going to see if I can figure out how to separate some portion of the wall so that I can see how thick the walls actually are. Because one of the things I've been thinking about as far as redoing the walls is adding thickness to the walls to give me more insulation. But I don't know how that's going to play out in a couple of different terms. One, the framing of the windows, and two, just the material that I would use to put up in place of the current walls. Just figuring out what all would be entailed with that is where I'm at right now. Constantly looking at things as I'm talking, because I'm always assessing what I can do with what I got left to do. But absolute worst case scenario, if I can't come up with anything viable with the walls, I might just say screw it and leave the walls and the ceilings, remove some of the bracketing and bracing, the thinner stuff that's not really doing anything now, because like with taking down the lights, I actually ended up the way I said it was in my last video is actually pretty correct. So it was a single cable I needed to unplug, and then I needed to hinge from the top in the right fashion, because there's like a lip. I just do like this. There's like a lip, and then the framing or the body that held the light fixtures in place had a like a hook at the top of it that went over that that piece, and you had to basically hinge it out and back in a certain way so that when you hinged and lifted, it would basically come off of that lip, and then basically had to keep shifting it from one end to the other until you got the whole section off, and then walked it out the door. But yeah, I'm gonna actually take some pictures now that I think about it of the pieces outside, because I got them piled up on top of the old seats as of right now. But take a couple pictures so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about as far as the way that the piece hooked onto the railing that's on the ceiling. With the fact that I have a railing on the ceiling, I'm debating on if I want to keep that railing. I could probably figure out a purpose for using that, but that's if that railing is actually steel and can hold some actual weight. If it's just fiberglass and was there just for the light fixtures and can't really hold much of any weight, I'm gonna take it down, which is gonna be a real pain because it's riveted to the ceiling in like probably a couple hundred spots. But yeah, I mean, otherwise it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because it is like at the ceiling, so it's really, really out of the way. If nothing else, I could probably utilize it for hanging some form of lights or something. I might do LED strips or something along those lines, and that could be a good spot to do that, running from front to back. We'll see. But in any event, it's nothing really like major, and it's kind of out of the way because it's all the way at the ceiling, which in the front of the bus I can't even really touch. In the back I can touch, but like there's probably a good half a foot to a foot of headroom for me back there. So, that's one of the reasons I'm glad I got this bus. Real talk. But yeah, so that pretty much sums up what was taken care of today. I got all those pieces for the light fixtures out of place, got them all outside, and I pulled down. You can see in the video that I took, some of the sections still have some of the Velcro, but it's like pieces of fabric that are Velcro to top and bottom that basically cover the cabling that was behind the light fixtures. I guess for the concept of airflow, because like I said, there's a big duct in the back that you'll see in the videos that I'm gonna throw in here. There's a big duct in the back that goes into the engine that looks like it's the airflow purposes, and the fabric that's Velcroed up there separated the space where the cables was at versus the open space above the light fixtures where there was just open space. So I'm gonna guess that was for airflow. But yeah, that's still up. I gotta take the rest of those down. I got like half of them down, give or take. I wasn't keeping track. Wasn't really that big of a deal to me. But taking those down, getting the light fixture cables out, and then figuring out what I want to do with that space. Because there's pieces that look like they look like they're removable, but it's hard to tell at the moment. So I'm gonna unscrew some things and see what's removable and what's not, and see if that's an actual shelf. Because if it's an actual shelf, then I will just build into that shelf as best I can to give myself storage space up at the ceiling. So that we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. As usual, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for keeping track of me and what I'm doing and this craziness involving modifying this bus. I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I look forward to the next video. You guys have a good night. Even though it's still day, it's going on 8 o'clock, I think, at this point. Maybe 7:30-ish, something like that. But it's summer, so, you know, sun stays out later now. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.